Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. The Tigers' power takes a backseat to no one. They have gotten off to a terrific start here in 2015, but yesterday it was the long ball that propelled the Pirates to a win in Game 1. Tonight the two teams get together once again on a nice night for baseball. Welcome to Pittsburgh, everyone. Game 2 in the series featuring the Tigers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pepper alongside Jack Morris. Glad to have you with us. Both of us thought that eventually the Tigers would take a loss, and that would be yesterday, Jack, but now it's time to get back down to business for Detroit.
Yeah, they tried to claw their way back into the game yesterday. They had a chance to win it late, but it didn't work out so well, so the best way to get back on the horse and saddle is to win another game, get back in the win column.
All right, now one thing the Tigers have done well this year is pitch. Their starting pitching ERA has been the best in all of baseball. One of the reasons for that, maybe Shane Green, one of the Tigers that was picked up in the offseason in a trade with the Yankees. How about the numbers on Shane Green? His first start against the Minnesota Twins, he goes 8 innings, allowing just 4 hits. He threw 85 pitches in the ballgame. 65 of those were strikes, Jack. And I tell you what, you could not be more economical than he was on that day against Minnesota.
That's exactly what you want, especially out of a young kid, to go out and pound that strike zone. He got some run support early from his offense, and that kind of settled him right in there. And he attacked and made some really good pitches. So look for more of that tonight here in Pittsburgh.
All right, Tigers trying to get back to their winning ways. Game 2 in this series coming up, featuring the Tigers and the Pirates. But right now, we send you back to the Coliseum Studios and Justin White. Ball tonight, one of the all-time greats to ever play the game, immortalized here. That's the statue of Roberto Clemente outside of the center field wall as the Tigers and the Pittsburgh Pirates get set to do battle here tonight. We remind you to stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game where that's the wrong thing. I'll tell you what, let's talk about our Tigers player of the game presented by the 2 for $5 classic quarter pounder with cheese for $5. That's the Tigers player of the game coming up after the contest, so we invite you to stay tuned for that. We'll pick our Tigers player of the game, and hopefully it's going to be a night where the Tigers put up some runs. How about the starting lineup for the Detroit Tigers tonight, presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers and for Brad Osmus. In this one here, it is Rajai Davis leading it off in center field, followed by Ian Kinsler at second base, Miguel Cabrera at first base. J.D. Martinez cleaning up again in this one. Boy, his home run balls have been flying out of the ballpark so far this year. Cespedes in left, Castellanos at third. Your bottom three is Avila, Iglesias, and Shane Green batting tonight ninth for the Detroit Tigers. And they, of course, are facing the right-handed offerings of the veteran A.J. Burnett.
See the numbers in A.J.'s first and only start this year. He's making start number 2. 15-year veteran in the major leagues. A.J.'s got 155 W's, so he's a veteran. He's got to execute his pitches. He's going to come after the guys. Had success against Detroit in the past, but it's a new year and a new time for the Tigers.
And we'll check out the defense that is positioned behind Mr. Burnett tonight. In the outfield, Andrew McCutchen patrolling center. Polanco in left. Corey Hart, who had the big homer yesterday, he's in right. Along the infield, Harrison and Alvarez to the corners. Walker and Mercer, your double play combination. And Burnett Cervelli is your battery. Well, time now for Bernstein Advantage, bringing you the pitcher-batter matchup. Bernstein Advantage belongs to A.J. Burnett. When you're talking about two of the bigger Tiger hitters, Miguel Cabrera, J.D. Martinez, they really have not fared all that well against Burnett, so we'll see what transpires here tonight. Numbers are made to be reversed, aren't they, Jack?
Well, and that's why I mentioned what I did. It's a new year. Miguel Cabrera is off to a wonderful start, and J.D. Martinez is not the kid that he faced last time when he was in the National League with Houston. So, you know, this is a situation where both guys are red hot. It should be a good matchup.
So Cabrera and the Tigers hoping to get back to their winning ways. They check in tonight with a record of 6-1. The Pirates at 3-4. Interleague play continues here this evening. The Tigers will send Rajai Davis to the dish to start things off. Davis, Kinsler, and Cabrera. This will be a start for Rajai against a right-handed pitcher in Burnett. Off to a 125 start. And we'll see if he can get it going tonight on a nice night for baseball. Our first night game of the season. Lights are on here at PNC Park. And here we go. The first pitch of tonight's game is in for a strike on one. Davis 1 out of 5 on the trip. A.J. Burnett, 38 years of age now, born in Little Rock, Arkansas. And Rajai looks at a ball outside, 1-1.
Brad Osmus giving Rajai a chance to play here against the right-hander. Anthony Gose had a rough time at the plate yesterday, but doesn't really lose any speed with Rajai at the dish.
That's lifted toward right field on a line, and it's Jason Hart back to the warning track to make the catch. One gone. Davis hit it hard, but not deep enough. We'll bring up Ian Kinsler. Not really the same A.J. Burnett that we saw early in his career with the Marlins. He is more of a guy that doesn't rely on that fastball. It was mid to upper 90s at one time.
He still can get his share of strikeouts. He had 7 in his first start, only 1 walk. He's got good command when he's on. You know, obviously his fastball is not what it once was, but it's still over 90.
That's pulled toward left field, sinking and caught on the run by Polanco. So a couple of hard hit balls for the Tigers, but there are 2 gone.
You come back to the dugout, your hitting coach tells you that's all we can ask, hit the balls on the screws like that, and you're still thinking, oh, I'd rather find a hole.
This is the unkind part of the game of baseball. You can, as you mentioned, hit the ball on the screws and come up with an offer. Here is Cabrera, who has made it a habit of hitting balls hard, and yesterday was 2 out of 4 with a double. Scored a couple of runs. Really didn't have a whole lot of success against Garrett Cole early in the game, but then again, nobody did. But Miggy came up big toward the end of the contest, and the Tigers almost pulled that game out.
Yeah, the one thing that Tigers really had going for them is the pitch count yesterday. Cole was right on.
2 balls, no strikes on Cabrera. So Miguel on the road trip now 13 for 18. And the average at 517. Ooh, a strike call up and in on Cabrera, 2-1.
You don't see that call to strike very often. You can see where that ball starts a little bit over the plate and then it tails at the end. But Cervelli was sitting outside and that ball ran back up inside. You don't get that call very often.
Lifted toward right field, and again they'll test Corey Hart, who goes back to make the play, and the Tigers go 1-2-3 in the first inning. Presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Josh Harrison will lead things off. Last 5 against the Tigers, he's been awfully good. Polanco, McCutchen, Walker, and Hart. You've got Alvarez at first base, and a bottom 3 of Cervelli, Mercer, and Burnett. And they are facing Shane Green, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Those numbers last season as a member of the New York Yankees. Shane is making his second start with the Tigers. Had a great outing his first one, and looking to repeat that here tonight in Pittsburgh. His first interleague start tonight.
And he's ready to go to work now as Harrison steps in and looks at a strike on the outer edge. Josh batting .217, couple of hits, including that home run that he hit on the very first pitch he saw yesterday from Anibal Sanchez. Shoot that one foul back out of play. 0-2. Boy, Anibal looked good most of the day yesterday, just a couple of bad pitches.
Yeah, he made a couple mistakes and it hurt him. Other than that, overall, I thought he did a great job of changing speeds. He had pretty good command. He made a mistake or two, and the ball went over the fence, and that was the story of the ball game.
The 0-2. Line drive to right, and Martinez runs it down. Here's the rest of the Tigers defense, presented by Beaumont Health Systems. You saw JD in right field. He's going to be joined by Rajai Davis and Yoenis Cespedes in the outfield. Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, Cabrera third to first. Avila, Green, your battery, and Rajai, no errors in 38 straight out there in center field.
Pretty good defenders out in center field with Ghost. Rajai getting the call tonight, the only defensive change.
Here is Gregory Polanco, who's getting the start in left field this evening for Pittsburgh. Had a double in yesterday's ball game, the home opener here in Pittsburgh. And Green, again, like he did in his first start, just coming out throwing strikes. Pounding the zone.
It's a formula for success, especially when you can pound strikes that are not over the heart of the plate.
Quality strikes indeed. Swing and a miss. Out in front that time was Polanco. He has hit safely in 5 of his last 6. Green with the 0-2. Right at the second baseman, Ian Kinsler on the line, 2 gone.
He got in on him there. 6 pitches so far, all strikes. So that's a guy that's pounding the strike zone. It's just what he has to do. He's got a little swagger about him. He's starting to feel confident. He really started in New York last year and had some success. You know, I looked at some of his numbers in the minor leagues. It took him till his 5th year in pro ball before he started winning. But that can change in a hurry, and the guy starts getting a taste of success. This is a good way to do it. Just pound that strike zone.
Here is Andrew McCutchen. Well, you bring up a good point. I mean, it's one thing to throw strikes, but you have to throw quality strikes, right?
Well,
I mean, you can't leave the ball.
Easier said than done, but the whole point is miss the bats. And, you know, one of the things that you can help yourself with is getting ahead in the count.
It's skied in the air toward right center. Martinez calling out Davis. It'll be an 8-pitch first inning. So the beat goes on for Shane Green. Nice start. Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Dodge, come in for high-powered deals during the Dodge Awards season events. And by Spartan Stores. For locations, visit turntospartan.com. He's had pretty good weather here in Pittsburgh. Had a glorious day here yesterday, and temperatures in the mid-60s here today. It's turning into a nice night here at PNC Park.
Good crowd gathered. Obviously, there's a changing of the guard here in Pittsburgh. Fans are very enthusiastic about their ball club.
J.D. Martinez will lead it off against A.J. Burnett. You always wonder on that second home game of the season how much lower the crowd would be from opening day. And, well, tonight they've got a pretty good gathering here.
We were talking about it, Mario, how the score of the game, the first home opener, the score, and how that affects the crowd in the second night. And the hometown team won, and I'm sure that had something to do with the walk-up.
Hard hit ground ball to second base. Neil Walker throws him out. 4 up, 4 down for Burnett. JD is out of there. We'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes.
Well, both pitchers attacking the strike zone. Really, Burnett hasn't fooled anybody. It's his 4th hard hit ball, but you need your defense, and that's why there's coaches hired to position guys and all that sorts of stuff. Put the ball in play.
There are 8 guys behind you, actually 7 if you don't count the catcher, but they're there for a reason. And Cespedes stands in. They are playing to shift on Yoenis Cespedes around to the left side of the infield. Pedro Alvarez, the first baseman, is the only man to the right side. And Yoenis looks at a strike. Here is some of the positioning that Jack talked about. They play him to pull.
Yeah, you see the shift on the left side, and then he throws that perfect breaking ball to start out Yoenis.
1 ball, 1 strike. Cespedes off to a .344 start. Couple of hits in yesterday's ball game. A.J. Burnett back in a Pirates uniform this year after spending a season with the Phillies. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Burnett had a player's option to remain with the Phillies, but he decided that he was much more comfortable here in Pittsburgh. He had pitched the previous 2 seasons here. And Clint Hurdle and Neil Huntington, their GM, well, they were happy to have him back. He had some success here. Swing and a miss. Man, Cespedes is out of there. It's his first strikeout. 2 gone.
Well, players always like to put themselves in position where they have some kind of say in where they play. And you think about AJ, where would you rather play right now? In Philadelphia with where they are, or with a team like Pittsburgh that might have a chance for postseason?
Not close. And you saw the splits in the numbers. Burnett with the Pirates and the other ball clubs he's played with. Much better numbers here. Here's Castellanos. He'll shoot one right over the head of the second baseman, Neil Walker. That's a base hit.
Nick is not exactly taking a lot of pitches. He got something he liked and took a hack at it. This time getting a base hit over the second baseman's head.
There was a lot of talk in yesterday's ball game, Jack, about the fact that Nick swung at the first pitch when he hit it in both double plays. But as Brad said after the game yesterday, sometimes that first pitch might be the best pitch you'll get in an entire at bat.
Yeah, there's always that argument you're going to have. Fans obviously love to get involved with that. But, you know, he could have taken a couple pitches and then the pitcher makes a pitcher's pitch. But he got something he thought he liked. And usually your hitting coach will encourage you to go ahead and take a hack at something you like.
Here is Alex Avila. Castellanos had the only Tigers hit for the first 6 innings in yesterday's ball game against Garrett Cole, and now he's come up with a first Tiger hit tonight. Avila off to a .267 start. Swing and a miss.
You can see the grip that A.J. Burnett throws here. You can see it choking it back in there. That's a changeup grip. You just kind of hold it loose. You try to get that same arm action, arm speed. The ball just tails down and in. Hitter is usually way out in front.
That'll go foul down the first base line. Avila has walked 6 times this year. That is a team high for the Tigers. He is batting in the 7th spot. There was some talk coming into the season and coming into spring training that Brad might think about batting him in the 2 hole this year because of his on base percentage and his ability to take a walk. But Kinsler has turned into a dynamite number 2 hitter. Provides some power from that position as well.
And just a lot more speed on the base paths.
Yeah. And that's a big aspect as well. Burnett wanted that one, didn't get it.
When you got Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez hitting in the 2 spots behind that guy, you want some speed there. They're going to drive in some runs.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Late swing and he fouls it off. One of the reasons that Burnett wanted to come back here to Pittsburgh, I would assume, is he feels real comfortable in pitching in this ballpark. His career ERA here is 2.76.
The seating, we're way up here in our booth in the press box. And from here, the field doesn't look all that big. You get down on the field in the dugouts. I walked out there, I'm like, geez, this would be a wonderful place to pitch. There's just a lot of room out there. But we saw yesterday the balls can carry.
Cervelli able to block that one, keeping the runner at first base. 2-2.
There's the career numbers for A.J. Burnett here at PNC Park. Pretty good ERA.
Yeah, no doubt. And the Pirates themselves are 20-11 in his home starts. A.J. 14 of those victories. Cervelli wants the fastball in. Right to the first baseman, Alvarez. That'll end the inning. No runs and a hit. One man left. Driver's seat is brought to you by Kia, and Shane Green was in the driver's seat against the Twins. But here's the one thing that really stood out, Jack. Check out the balls column. Not a whole lot going on there.
Well, it's important, and you want to pound the strike zone. That's a great example of pounding the strike zone. In this game, 8 pitches so far in the first inning, 7 strikes and 2 for 3 with first pitch strikes. So he's right on track again early in this one.
Well, here's Neil Walker now to start things off in the second. Walker hearts Alvarez. Guess what? Another strike. Walker batting .250, 1 home run, was 1 for 4 in yesterday's opener for the Pirates. 23 home runs last year. The 0-1. The 23 home runs last year was the highest total in franchise history for a second baseman.
If you look at him physically, you would say he's not a home run hitter.
Right.
But it's not always about physical. It's about bat speed and getting pitches you like.
Well, McCutcheon's kind of a good example of that, too. He's not a really big guy, but he has great bat speed, short swing.
320 down the right field line here at PNC, which is not extraordinarily big.
They'll go foul the other way. 2-2. Neil Walker. I like those Pirates helmets. They've got the matte finish, which is a little bit different than most other teams. Kind of looks old school.
That's a Harley Davidson biker bar tough guy right there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Bang that one foul at home plate. Walker had a good spring training this year for the Pirates. Hit .316. There is one of the heroes yesterday, Corey Hart, who hit a big home run. So he gets a start today in right field. And again, the 2-2. Fly ball left field. Cespedes cruising back. One gone here in the second. It brings up Corey Hart, and it brings us to our T-Mobile game changer. It was Corey Hart yesterday. He delivered a huge blow for the Pirates.
A breaking ball that was left out over the plate. Corey Hart's been known to extend his arms, and he got all of that one. It kind of sealed the day for Annabelle, who was pitching a very good game, but that one really kind of took the wind out of his sail.
The home run by Corey Hart was his 1,000th major league hit. He'll take ball one inside. In fact, Corey Hart's first major league hit was a home run as well. Green's 1-0 is up and in. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, they're trying to pitch him in, and that's probably a pretty good plan because he does like to extend those big, strong arms of his. Now they're going to go away.
He rolls this one on the ground to third, right at Castellanos. Hart is out, 2 gone. So 5 up, 5 down against Shane Green. In his first interleague starts of his career. Which also means he's going to get his first big league at bat here tonight. He's never done that in a major league game.
And I'm guessing he's probably as excited about that as he is about towing the rubber.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's thrilled. Here's Pedro Alvarez.
He's young enough to think that he can still hit. You've got to have 10 years in the big leagues in the American League before you realize I don't even want to do that anymore.
Well, maybe he is getting fired up for it. There's a bouncer back up the middle. Oh, what a play there, but no chance for Iglesias. But man, did he make it close. From the seat of his pants.
If he wouldn't have bobbled it, he might have been able to get him, but as he was diving, he just bobbled the ball just a little bit and then had a throw. I mean, how do you throw the ball that accurate on your back?
Wow. There's the little bobble that cost him. Otherwise, I think you're right. He probably throws him out. Just enough on that throw to one-hop it. Infield hit. Francisco Cervelli, the batter. Cervelli batting .353. Ooh, up and in. That'll buckle him out of the box.
I just still think that's one of the best pitches there is. Just keep hitters honest. Let them know that you're willing to come inside. That'll keep the outside of that plate a lot more accessible for you as a pitcher. Even if you don't throw strikes, you saw with Hart, he threw 2 pitches off the plate and then threw one that wasn't exactly pinpoint on the outside corner, but he got him to roll the ball over to third base.
But it doesn't seem like a lot of guys do that all that often anymore, huh? Pitch inside?
I promise you, all pitching coaches want them to do it, but too many pitchers lack the confidence of doing it because they don't want to miss over the middle. They miss over the middle, the ball goes a long way.
Right. There's Jeff Jones, who's been overseeing a starting staff that, as we mentioned, leads the major leagues in ERA coming into play tonight. Well, you would think Cervelli has a pretty good scouting report on Green. He caught him last year in New York, and they were both Yankees. He pulls it on the ground to third. Castellanos flags it down. That'll end the inning. No runs. They get a hit and leave a man. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. 1 hits in this one. And Jose Iglesias will start things off for the Tigers, facing A.J. Burnett in the Tiger third. Iglesias, Green, and then Rajai Davis. Oh for 3 in yesterday's opener. Iglesias batting .455 and showing nothing but all systems go in terms of his health. There was some concern coming into spring training after the shin problems last year, which forced him to miss all season. There's a strike on the outer edge. I don't think it took very long in camp for the Tigers to realize that he was healthy, was able to play back-to-back games, and they'll certainly continue to keep an eye on him, but looks good so far.
Well, one thing Jose does well is make contact. You're not going to see him strike out a lot, and he's got very good speed, so he's going to get a share of infield hits along with what has happened so far. Got to be pretty darn excited about what he's done with the bat in his hand since the season started.
The 0-2. He will steal his share of bases, I would think, as well. He had a couple on opening day, and the Tigers have more speed in their lineup these days with Ghost and Davis, but don't discount what Iglesias can do on the bases. 1-2 is outside. 2-2 now on Jose. There's Shane Green waiting on deck. Heart's got to be thumping right now. His first big league at bat coming up. Here's the 2-2. He hit it the other way, right at Alvarez. He'll toss to the pitcher covering. And one gone. And as Shane Green steps to the plate, let's check in now with John Keating.
Well, Mario, we did some digging. Not only has Shane Green not had a plate appearance at the major league level, he didn't have any as a minor leaguer yet. And he shared this on Twitter today, a text exchange with his mom. She said, "New attire for today. Can't wait for the game. Batter up and do your stuff. You got this." And Shane tweeted, "Mama always believes." So Mario, Jack, Mama Green is watching this AB.
She is indeed. You can always count on Mom. And Shane looks at a strike 0-1.
And I promise you, she's nervous.
Probably more nervous than he is.
It's way harder to be a fan than a player. And a family member, even worse.
Burnett ready with the 0-1. There's a strike on the inside part of the plate. 0-2 on Shane.
You got to wonder if Brad just says to all his pitchers, "I want you to take 2 strikes. Let's work the pitch count."
Here's the 0-2. Off the plate, 1-2. I know that sometimes managers of American League teams get a little bit concerned when their pitchers have to hit for fear of pulling something because they're just not used to making those baseball movements, swinging bats. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called on the outer edge. Second out, second strikeout now for A.J. Burnett.
First time through the order, A.J. Burnett looking very sharp. Shane Green pretty much matching him in the first 2 innings.
Castellanos the only Tigers hit, and Alvarez the only Pirates hit. Davis fly to right field to start the game. He's 0 for 1. Rajai looks at strike 1.
When I was doing games for the Blue Jays, a couple of us guys asked Anthony Ghost, "You and Rajai have a straightaway race. Who's going to win?" And he goes, "Rajai."
Really?
Yeah. He said he's one of the fastest guys in the game.
I tell you what, and Rajai is not only fast, but he's a really good base stealer. He knows how to steal bases. He has very good instincts, and sometimes there is a difference.
I've seen him outrun baseballs. I mean, his first 2 steps aren't the greatest, but he seems to accelerate all the way to second base. So Tigers just need him to get on.
Well, there was a time where you wouldn't see the Tigers at the top or near the top of this list, but that's changed over the last couple of years.
And what a weapon it can be. When you have team speed and guys that can run, it opens up so much for your offense.
Slow roller. Third base side, Harrison, no play.
That's what we're talking about right there. You force those infielders to hurry things up. Harrison probably just took his eye at the ball momentarily because he's aware of the kind of speed Rajai has. It's going to be a bang bang play, and he knows it. Look at him go.
He was smelling a knock 2 steps out of the batter's box. And the Tigers have their second hit of the game. Here's Kinsler. Hit the ball sharply his first time up, right at the left fielder. Burnett had a rocky year last year with the Phillies. He really struggled. In fact, lost 18 games, which led the National League. Oh, they got him picked off. Rajai Davis is picked clean at first base by A.J. Burnett. Do not see that very often, but he got him this time. Whoops. Around baseball for Tigers fans to visit is right here in Pittsburgh, and those Tigers fans showing their colors as we go to the bottom of the third. No score, and it'll be Jordy Mercer, A.J. Burnett, Josh Harrison facing Shane Green, who gave up an infield single to Alvarez in the second, but that has been it. Mercer looks at a strike. Really don't hear a lot about Jordy Mercer around the major leagues, but he played 149 games last year, which is more than any other Pirate. Solid numbers. He tried to bunt there and bunted right through it. 0-2.
I agree with you, Mario. He doesn't probably get the respect. And of course, he's still young, but you know, a lot of people would consider him a serviceable type guy. Well, I think he's more than that.
Agreed.
And possibly because of his age, a lot of upside.
The 0-2 off the end of the bat. Avila. Nice play. 1 out here in the Pirates' third.
We'll take another look at this last at bat from Jordy Davis. You see Alex Avila just sprinting out of the box there with the runner, and that's the ball that he's got to get to because it's going to be very tough on the pitcher unless he reacts immediately. And most right-handers are better going to the first base side than the third base side, but Alex jumping out of there and helping out his pitcher.
Here's A.J. Burnett. 1 hit in his last 30 at bats. He'll look at ball 1 from Green. Burnett is 0 for 1 this year. Looking at his numbers, he has had some success in the major leagues. He's hit 8 doubles. He's hit even 3 triples in the course of his career. A couple of homers mixed in as well. Big swing there.
I'm guessing those were when he was a little bit younger.
Probably.
And you think about it, we don't see it as much anymore coming to the ballpark early because pitchers have a lot different routines. A lot of them ride bikes in the clubhouse. But in his younger day, I guarantee you, he was doing a lot of running as he takes strike 3 there.
Well, with 2 gone now, we'll go back to the studio, check in with Mickey York. All right, Mick, thank you very much. Boy, that would be a huge loss for the Indians. One of their top pitchers. They already lost Yan Gomes in that series against the Tigers on that play at the plate with Rajai Davis. He's on the DL. Scary indeed.
It totally brings up another whole thought. So many pitchers seem to be getting hit up around the head area, and baseball has experimented with that helmet that pitchers can wear, but it's so cumbersome that the guys that I've talked to that have actually seen it and tried it on said there's no way they could ever wear it in a game. So
yeah, I think 1 or 2 guys have attempted it in a game, but you're right, it is so cumbersome. Harrison, the batter, with 2 outs. That'll miss low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Again, I have a theory of why that's happening more than it did, and that's because so many pitching coaches want you to throw down and away, and guys that can extend their arms are going to be able to hit the ball up the middle, where when you pound it in, when they get any kind of good contact, they're going to hit it to the left side or the right side if it's in on a left-hander.
Slow tap toward third, and Iglesias going to handle it, and it's picked by Miguel. Oh, they called him safe.
They might review this one.
Harrison with good speed down the line. It looked like Castellanos was going to make that play. Then he backed off.
Yeah, and if to do it all over again, I think it's Castellanos' ball. Oh boy.
They might look at this one.
Yeah.
I think Brad's making up his mind right now. The home plate umpire, David Rackley, is looking into the dugout to see if they want to do anything here.
Kind of looked to me like he did get there.
Boy, if he did, it was by the thinnest of margins. There's Auspice waiting for the word, and he says no thanks.
So the script just keeps continuing. It's almost exactly the same as on pitching wise. Rajai gets a base hit with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd. And now Harrison, same thing.
A little bit of symmetry there. Here is Polanco. Lined out to Kinsler in his first at bat. We'll keep an eye on Harrison at first base. Polanco, one of the more highly touted prospects in the Pirates system. Got an opportunity to play in the big leagues last year.
Shane Green taking a little something off there, trying to get Polanco out in front. And good location for that off-speed pitch. He's keeping it down and away.
The 1-0 runner goes, and it's rolled foul. So Harrison will head back.
Well, sometimes base runners just get lucky, and Harrison was running there on a changeup, back-to-back changeups from Shane Green. And I guess as a runner, you want that type of pitch to run on. 95-mile-an-hour fastball gets that ball a lot quicker to the catcher.
Really no good scoring opportunities to this point for either club. Green and Burnett have done good work. Here's the 1-1. Bouncing ball left side on the backhand Iglesias. And that's it for Polanco and the Pirates. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. On to the 4th we go. Innings here has gone out and had a little conversation with Jerry Lane, the first base umpire tonight.
We're guessing that conversation is about Rajai Davis getting picked off and what they presumed was the balk move from a pitcher. Pitcher's got to move his back leg first when he goes to first base, and a lot of times we call it the balk move or the balk throw, where you just slightly buckle your left knee as a right-handed pitcher, and that'll throw a hitter off. And let's just watch it. See what he does?
Oh, yeah.
That front leg moves first. And Rajai, the good base runner that he is, he sees that, and that leads him to want to go.
That was a great look at that.
Watch this leg. If that moves before the back foot, then that's the balk.
And it did.
Yep, just slightly. That's a great execution of the balk for the pitcher, and it fooled Jerry Lane. And unfortunately, Rajai Davis was the victim of it.
No balls, 2 strikes. Kinsler the batter. He's followed by Cabrera and Martinez here in the 4th.
I think it's worth the chance as a pitcher with 2 outs. And you're confident he's on cruise control, pitching very well. Try that balk move. You know, you fool the umpire, you got an out. If not, he goes to second base and you get the hitter out.
Checked it. He went around. That's going to be it for Kinsler. 1 gone here in the 4th. Hey, by the way, see the Tigers battle the White Sox at Comerica Park this Friday afternoon at 1:08. First 10,000 fans receive a free April in the D fleece beanie, courtesy of Fox Sports Detroit. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. And we'll see you there Friday. Tigers wrapping up this road trip tomorrow, off day Thursday, and then the homestand begins Friday. Here is Cabrera with 1 out. Burnett now with 3 strikeouts in this game. He got Cabrera to fly to right field back in the 1st inning. Here's the 1-0. That'll get back out of play. We've talked, Jack, about the fact that Burnett has had to kind of change the way he has gone about things. When he came up with the Marlins as a young pitcher, threw extremely hard, and as you get older year by year, you lose some of that velocity, and maybe in some ways become a better pitcher by learning how to pitch.
What happens, Mario, is you see him, it seems like he's more methodical than he used to be. He doesn't rush anything, and he throws a lot more strikes. And you realize as you age in this game, you want to make every bullet count. Everything you throw towards a hitter is important, whether you're setting the guy up or not. And obviously you're going to have your days of wildness. That's the human element. But A.J. doing a lot better job and pretty sharp here tonight.
Here's the 1-2. Mickey fouls off another. Well, Burnett in his younger days threw a no-hitter. In his days with the Marlins, that was back in 01 against San Diego. This will be his last year, he says, in the major leagues. Going to shut it down after this season. Swing and a foul tip. Nope, missed it, and down goes Cabrera. 2 gone. Well, that's just Miguel messing around, but the fans took offense to it. And they booed him lustily as he walked off the field. 2 outs now, and here's J.D. Martinez. We mentioned that A.J. is 38 years old. What if he goes out this year?
I was just going to
wins 12 to 15 games. Does your mind change maybe?
Well, I think it's the, I don't know, you want to call it the Brett Favre syndrome or whatever. You just reevaluate at the end of the year. Michael Jordan.
For now, he says, this is my swan song. Subject to change. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There was a time in the game where you would announce it, and of course you had to have that credibility and clout, and then you'd make your final tour and get some gifts, but it doesn't happen to everybody.
No, not everybody's Derek Jeter. 1-2.
Rivera and
Rivera too, right?
For the Yankees.
Those guys could open up a department store with some of the gifts they got in their final tour. Now Burnett with the 1-2. Cervelli blocks it.
Well, we're talking about A.J. Burnett, and he still has a pretty fine breaking ball. Tonight's extremely sharp. He's able to get ahead and then expand the zone. Early in the game, he was able to pinpoint that on the outer half, and now he's getting the hitters to fish a little bit.
High and away. Full count on J.D. Martinez, trying to keep it going for Yoenis Cespedes. So far this game has been controlled by the starting pitchers. Not a whole lot going on offensively.
J.D. just had a pitch that he would love to have again.
MGM Grand Detroit brings you the scouting report on A.J. Burnett. You see the walks. They were up last year with the Phillies, the most in the major leagues. And he just he didn't pitch well in Philadelphia last year. Part of the reason was he pitched much of the year with a hernia. He just went out there every day and still tried to get it done. That's drilled toward right center field. It's down. Base hit.
Well, J.D. got the same pitch again, a fastball that was left up. And he's shown everybody in the game that that's where he likes it. Watch how he extends and goes after that ball. Head down, arms out. Just a pretty swing. And to your point, Mario, you got a hernia, I'm sure you're going to walk a few guys. You don't push off the same.
You're going to lose a few games, but it does say something that he went out there and tried to get it done. That is the third Tigers hit, and all of them have come with 2 outs. Cespedes, a strikeout victim his first time up. Ball one high. Yoenis has hit safely in 6 of his first 7 in a Tigers uniform. Tigers traded Rick Porcello to get him. Driven toward right field. That ball is slicing toward the corner, and that ball is up against the wall. Martinez coming to third. They're going to stop him there. Opposite field, 2-base hit for Yoenis Cespedes. He continues to go the other way. He's done that a lot this year.
It just shows his strength, his upper body strength. Again, a guy that loves to extend his arms, but he's a strong young man. And that ball was a pitcher's pitch, down and away, but just able to go with it a little bit, drive it off the upper part of the wall. Tigers now have 2 runners in scoring position with 2 out.
First extra base hit. There's Castellanos. Singled on the first pitch he saw back in the second. He takes ball 1.
Just a tough pitch right there. Good breaking ball from A.J. Burnett. Off the plate just by a small margin, and tough one for Nick to lay off.
Cespedes and Martinez, your base runners. Tigers a base hit away from grabbing the early lead here. And Burnett now has surrendered 4 hits in this game. I'm not sure you can find a team, well, you can't, that has been more clutch in the early going than the Tigers. Here are some numbers to back that up. .398 with men in scoring position, and based on yesterday's game, Nick would love to redeem himself a little bit today. The 2 big double play balls that he hit into yesterday. But as they say, Jack, that's the great thing about baseball. There's always a game the next day.
Well, it's great if you get a chance to play tomorrow.
Well, that's right.
You know, some guys they have a couple rough days in a row, and they might see themselves wearing a different uniform in a minor league. You know, and guys that have established themselves, have confidence from their manager, they're going to get a chance the next day.
Well, Nick is ahead of the count here now, 1-0. Two balls, no strikes. And now Cervelli out there again to talk with A.J. Burnett.
Well, these are game-changing moments, and we talk about it all the time. Pitchers having control of these kind of moments. You want to make sure that you're on the same page with your catcher. The Pirate defense could not be playing more straight away. Everybody's playing in their normal position against Nick Castellanos.
2 balls, 1 strike on Nick. He fouled a fastball out of play. You know, we talk about, and you mentioned this, we talk about the fact that Burnett doesn't throw nearly as hard as he used to, but he still brings it up there at 92.
Oh, you can win big time with 92. Look what Maddox did with 88.
Right.
You know, Glavine, 2 guys in the Hall of Fame, and they would love to have touched 90 once.
Fouled off at home plate. Then again, if you want to win with 88, you better have some pinpoint control too, which Maddox did.
Well, I'm assuming that's why they did it. Obviously, you know, true pitchers are not necessarily all power guys. You know, they can change speeds, change eye levels, get the guys off front.
Maddox would also get the benefit of the corners as well.
Probably didn't get them all his first couple years,
no.
but it eventually came to that.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Burnett pitches out of his first trouble here this evening. That is his 5th strikeout of the game. It comes at a big moment. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Still no score. Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Back here in Pittsburgh, and Shane Green goes back to the hill. Bottom of the fourth inning is underway. Andrew McCutchen, Neil Walker, Corey Hart. McCutchen is 0 for 1 with a fly ball to right field. That'll bounce in. The count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. McCutchen, Jack, seems to be a great example of a guy that is proof that you don't need a really big swing to hit home runs. He is really quick to the ball, great bat speed, and has the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Here's the 1-1.
Couldn't agree with you more. It's not about a big swing, especially a long swing. You want a short, quick swing, and it's all about that bat speed and where you make contact. The great hitters always make that contact out in front of the plate where their hands can just explode.
The 2-1. Of course, the Tigers have a big guy that does not have a long swing, and Cabrera, who routinely hits the ball out of the ballpark. And McCutchen was asked, what player in the big leagues do you like to watch hit the most? And to no one's surprise, he said Miguel Cabrera. There's a bouncer back to the mound. Nice play by Green.
Well, let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. The last sequence right there from Shane Green to Andrew McCutchen. Start him off with a good little slider, outer calf, and then he's upset with himself with that one. Kind of gets out in front, behind the count, comes right back with an off-speed changeup, and then doing what a pitcher's supposed to do, kind of squared up and become that fifth infielder, helping himself with that fielding play.
Here is Neil Walker with 1 out. Ball up and in, 1-0 on Walker. Flight out to left field his first time up. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Walker this year made his 5th consecutive opening day start for the Pirates. Batting cleanup these days here in Pittsburgh. Green's pitch count again in good shape here tonight. He's at 42 in the 4th inning. The 1-1. Shane averaged over 9 strikeouts per 9 innings, the 4th highest mark among American League rookies last year. Pulled on the ground right at Cabrera. 2 up, 2 down.
There it is right there. Last season is 4th best among rookies. And again, you gotta like what you see out of Shane Green and his ability to throw strikes. Phil Hughes of the Minnesota Twins set a major league record in strikeout to walk ratio last year, and it just reassures people how important it is to pound that strike zone.
Well, a couple of ground ball outs has made it look routine. Here's Corey Hart. He grounded out his first time, and he swings and misses.
He's throwing that first pitch breaking ball on the outer half of the plate, and it's just been a real good pitch for him. See, just off the outer side of the plate.
Another wave and a miss.
Just expanding it now there. That's what Tommy John made a living on. You'd throw the first one in the zone and the next 2 out of the zone, and the last one would be so far out it'd be in the other dugout, and you'd still swing.
Come on now, not the other dugout. That's stretching the truth a bit.
Maybe that was a little further.
Strike call, and that's it for Hart. That's it for the Pirates. Let's go to the 5th.
always happens during a baseball season, whether he had a favorite memory. He paused and said, well, maybe when I turn 21. He was playing rookie ball in Virginia, and he said the good thing about that birthday is that I remember all of it. There were balloons in his office today. When he came into the Tigers clubhouse, the players had purchased for him a cake. But apparently in the eyes of Ausmus, the cake wasn't as big as perhaps it should have been. He looked around and says, $200 million payroll, and this is the cake that you'd get for me? Happy birthday to the skipper. Mario, Jack?
That is beautiful. Thanks, Keats. And he's got a point there. $200 million payroll. Come on, we can do better than a small cake, can't we?
Oh, boy. I don't know where to go with that one.
The game has changed, Jack, from your days. Happy birthday to the skipper. 46 years old today. And he said, I guess he tweeted out today, thanks for the birthday wishes. I just want a W. That'd be the best birthday present. We'll see if his team can provide that present. Alex Avila leads it off. It'll be Avila, Iglesias, and Shane Green. How about Brad pulling out memories of being 21 years old? You remember where you were at 21?
Come on.
That answers that. Here's the 1-0 pitch.
I have never been big on my own birthday.
Really?
Now, I know there's a friend of ours, a colleague of mine in Minnesota, that pretty much announces to the world every day when his next birthday is. And I don't get it. You know, I had one.
On. So as a kid, you didn't want the presents and the cake and all that stuff.
Oh, Halloween and Christmas were way better than a birthday.
That's going to get through, but look at this play. Right by Alvarez, but back the other right, Walker, and Burnett gets over there to make the play.
That's why they put the shift on. Walker playing over in shallow right field. It gets by Alvarez, but Walker just standing there, and Burnett doing what he's supposed to do, cover first base.
You know, what makes that play, I guess, a little bit awkward and different is that I don't think second basemen are used to fielding the ball off the grass. They're used to fielding the ball off the dirt, so that sometimes can make it a little bit tricky. But Walker did a fine job there.
There's always that lip between the dirt and the grass, and that's what they're flinch a little bit on. The other thing is they don't practice throwing the ball to the pitcher covering first from the outfield grass.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ever. Iglesias looks at a strike. Jose bounced out his first time up. .435 average out of the gates for Iglesias. Rolled foul. And the count 0-2 now on Jose. Shane Green will be next. A.J. Burnett had a little bit of trouble in the fourth. 2-out single by J.D. Martinez, double by Cespedes. But he got a big strikeout to end the inning. 1-2. A.J. Burnett, 38 years old now. Here's the 1-2. Sliced out of play.
65 pitches. Top of the fifth inning.
And again the 1-2. Toward third base, and it's going to be fair. Harrison hoping that thing would hook foul, but it didn't. It's a single for Iglesias.
Again, as a third baseman, you're wondering, what do I do here? What do I do? If I let it go by, it could hit the base or it could not. And it just touches the base, and then Harrison, uh-oh, emergency, I got to go get it. And Iglesias was not even thinking about turning and going to second. He was just trying to leg out a base hit, and that's what he gets.
That'll be the fifth Tigers hit of this game, and here is Shane Green. Let's see if he has the ability to bunt. No balls, one strike. Struck out his first time looking against Burnett.
We were always taught as pitchers to be able to catch the ball with your bat. You saw that first jab at it from Shane Green. He was trying to get the ball on the ground, but he pushed the bat out in front. You don't want to do that. You want to just catch the ball and keep the bat above the ball so it's a ground ball.
1 ball, 1 strike on Green, trying to advance the runner second with 1 out. That'll go foul. 1-2.
Well, you got to watch this hand right here, your pitching hand finger. You don't want to have that wrapped around the bat and have the ball hit that part.
Runner goes. Here's the throw down to second, and Iglesias swipes it. So it was appearing that Shane Green was not going to be able to lay down the bunt, so he just started the runner.
Well, that was smart heads-up base running, and it probably came from the Tiger dugout. But you see the jump that Jose Iglesias gets, and granted, it could have backfired on him had Shane Green popped that ball up to the infield, but not a very good attempt from the pitcher, and it was almost interference. But Jose Iglesias showing some of that speed, so it all works out the way Brad Ausmus wants it to work out. He's got the runner over.
You can see it had a smile on his face. Hey, man, I moved the runner up. What more do you want? Now we'll see if Rajay can drive him in. Looking for our first run of this ball game. Burnett now with 6 strikeouts. Davis a single and a fly ball, 1 for 2. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Walker has it, and the side retired. So nothing comes of a single in the seal. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Meyer, enter at www.foxsportsdetroit.com to be eligible to win a fantastic prize pack that any baseball fan would love. You need to read that disclaimer, Jack. Go.
I just did.
Oh, that was quick. There's a lot of words there. Shane Green back to the hill, and it's flared in the air to center field for Davis. 1 pitch, 1 out. Pedro Alvarez retired. Francisco Cervelli, we're seeing Jack more of the same today than what we saw his first start.
No question about it. First pitch strikes, doing very well. Very few balls. He's ahead and pounding the strike zone. And so far, nothing but goose eggs on the board for the Pirates.
Pretty impressive at how economical Green has been. And he's done it again here tonight to this point as Cervelli stands in. Hit into a force to end the second inning. Tigers acquired Shane Green in a 3-team deal. Yankees and Diamondbacks were involved, and basically, as it turned out, Robbie Ray went to the Diamondbacks. The Tigers got Green from the Yanks, and Didi Gregorius was also involved in that deal. He went to the Yankees. But they love the upside of Shane Green. Pulled into left field, base hit. Clean single for Cervelli. Well, Detroit Tigers 15-game season ticket plans are on sale now. Choose the plan that's right for you and enjoy exclusive season ticket holder benefits. Call 313-471-BALL today or visit Tigers.com. Those are benefits that are usually reserved only for Jack Morris and nobody else.
I'll share.
Very, very nice of you. Here's Jordy Mercer. Mercer out 2-3 his first time up.
Neither Green nor A.J. Burnett have thrown from the stretch very much in this game, so we'll see how Shane does in this situation.
Mercer hit .333 this spring. You look at the Pirates' opportunities in this game. There really have been few and far between. They've had a couple of singles. The one that Cervelli just hit was their third of the game. That's been it. Chopped foul.
Yeah, good solid base hit from Francisco Cervelli to get on first base. Nobody to second base yet. Really the first clean hit that the Pirates have gotten off of Shane Green.
Tigers typically have done some good work in interleague play. In fact, since the start of interleague play in 1997, they are 28 games over 500. Although winning here in Pittsburgh recently has been a bit of a challenge. They lost 2 games here last year. Bouncing ball to short.
There it is.
Iglesias, Kinsler, and a double play. Nicely done. 6-4-3.
Take a good look at the 2 pitchers tonight, A.J. Burnett and Shane Green, and their similarities. Goose eggs for both sides. They're both in command. You see where Shane Green is trying to set up on a fastball, and look at the similarity. A.J. Burnett, those guys are not only matching each other pitch by pitch during this game, but their pitching deliveries are very similar.
And the numbers are very similar as well. Neither team has a run. Tigers have had the better scoring chances. They had a single and a double in the fourth. But Shane Green, man, check this out. Here's the comparison that you were talking about, Jack. These are very similar as well.
AJ has a few more strikeouts. Other than that, it's been very, very similar.
Well, let's see if the Tigers get the bats going here. They got some pretty good hitters coming up. Kinsler, Cabrera, JD Martinez. Facing AJ Burnett. Gave up a single, a steal, no damage in the fifth. And now in the sixth, he starts off with a strike to Kinsler. Fastball right at the belt. One the count. Ian has scored 11 times this year. That's a team high for the Tigers. So kind of talked about this yesterday. He gets on base and the big guys, they're pretty good at driving him in. He should score 100 runs again this season easily. A little bit outside.
Tough to lay off that pitch, but doing a good job working the count a little bit. You see the pitch count for AJ Burnett at 75, just off the plate here with the fastball.
Three balls, one strike. Mr. Cabrera waiting on deck.
I'm sure part of that discussion with home plate umpire David Rackley is based on the guy in the on deck circle. He doesn't want to walk Kinsler.
Driven toward right field. Ball is hit well, but it's going to be run down halfway onto the warning track by Corey Hart. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's Cabrera. Cabrera hearing a few more boos as he stands in.
That's kind of funny to me. The fans just don't understand the playfulness that Miguel can have. He was out. The guy had already tagged him. And maybe uncalled for. I don't know. But that's just Miggy being Miggy.
Yeah, Miggy in his last at bat after striking out kind of swiped the ball away from Cervelli. There's a single into right field. Here's what happened.
No, this is his last at bat after he strikes out. Cervelli tags him on a ball that might have been a foul tip, and Miguel just dropped the ball. And look at this. You know you're doing well when you kind of have a check swing, sort of a half swing for Miguel, and he smiles down first base. Now he'll probably mess with Alvarez a little bit.
Here is JD Martinez. Swing and a miss. I think Cabrera has already tugged on the beard of Jose Alvarez down there at first base, or Pedro Alvarez rather at first base already. It's neatly cropped, so he probably had to.
Yeah, that's almost a years gone by San Francisco Giant beard right there.
Here's the 0-1. I'm not familiar with the San Francisco Giant beard.
Who's the relief pitcher? You got to help me out here that sported the crazy black beard out there.
Oh, you're talking about Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the 1 year, a couple of the relievers joined the act out there.
I thought you were talking about in your day, though, years gone by.
Oh, no. We weren't allowed facial hair, were we?
I don't know, were you? You had facial hair.
We were. But some teams weren't.
Yankees.
Yeah. Cincinnati Reds.
1-2 on JD Martinez. Single ground out. strike called on the outside corner. He's punched out of there by David Rackley. Well, A.J. Burnett now with 7 strikeouts.
No walks either, and he just freezes J.D. Martinez right there. Paints the outside corner with the fastball. That's a perfect pitch for a pitcher.
So it'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes with 2 outs. Cespedes nearly hit one out his last at bat. He doubled halfway up the wall in right field. Pulled foul.
Burnett made Cespedes look a little silly in his first at bat on breaking balls, and he's going to the well. It seems like that's his go-to pitch, and I think Cespedes kind of being wise to that. He's looking for that breaking ball.
Now he's down to the count 0-2.
But if you're a pitcher and you see swings like that, you're going to go ahead and say, all right, and we'll try it again and see if we can get you to do that one more time.
And because of that, Cespedes now finds himself in a deep hole here. No score as we play in the 6th inning here in Game 2 in this interleague series. That'll bounce in. Cervelli able to stop it. Burnett, one of the offseason signings by the Pirates. They didn't do a whole lot. I mean, in terms of big name players, they re-signed Liriano. They got Burnett to come over from the Phillies, and the player from Korea, Jung Ho Gung. Way high.
We talked about it yesterday. The youth of the outfield, led by Andrew McCutchen. You look over at third base, and Josh Harrison has turned into a legit guy to be reckoned with. Alvarez has got some pop in his bat at first base. They're relatively young and great upside.
High fly ball right field. Corey Hart is under it. And Burnett pitching through the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning and get some peppercorn, then come right back. Burnett, total of 9 hits, 6 of those for the Tigers, only 3 for the Pirates. Neither team has scored a run. A.J. Burnett will lead it off for Pittsburgh. And then Josh Harrison and Gregory Polanco. Burnett sends a ground ball left side, deep in the hole. Iglesias, long throw. What a play by Jose Iglesias. That is a big time play right there.
That is the web gem. He's going deep to his right, and A.J. Burnett doing what he can. He knows that Iglesias is probably going to get to the ball, but he never expected the throw to be that accurate. It wasn't the Jeter jump throw either. He was throwing that on the run. An accurate throw. Great play.
Great arm strength by Iglesias. So with one out here is Josh Harrison.
Harrison doing all he can do to get to the end of that time clock to get into the batter's box till A.J. Burnett will get a little bit of a breather in the dugout before he might have to toe the rubber again.
Harrison taking ball one. Fly out single for the Pirates leadoff man. Harrison signed a 4-year extension last Wednesday. The Pirates putting a lot of trust into Josh Harrison based on the big year that he had last year. And so they continue to lock up a lot of their core players.
It's a trend in baseball. A guy that's maybe close to arbitration eligible, not necessarily a free agent yet. They have good years. The teams are starting to lock them up long term, and it's probably a tough decision. Who do you give the money to? Who do you not? But when you have a guy that seems to fit your system and buy into it and play hard, they get rewarded.
That is sliced to right field and caught on the run by J.D. Martinez. Oh, what a play. Tigers, two terrific defensive plays. As we check out the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game, you've got to love what Shane Green has done tonight. He has only 2 strikeouts, but came in only 53 pitches after 5 innings of work. And when you look at some of the numbers, it's just a continuation of what Shane Green did in his first start.
Yeah, that's the percentage of strikes thrown coming into the 6th inning here, and 2 quick outs. So Shane Green just really on top of his game. I got to believe that they're enthusiastic and happy to see. I am. I mean, I love watching this kind of baseball game.
Well, he works with such a great pace. He throws strikes, and he doesn't waste too many pitches. I mean, like I said, he came in with 53 into this inning.
Another thing he does so well, he's got great body control. He's a big, tall kid, and yet all his energy is going directly towards his catcher, Alex Avila. He's not spinning off the ball. He's keeping his shoulders level, his eyes straight. I mean, he does a lot of things right, and that should lead to good mechanics and longevity.
Polanco grounds it foul. Well, it also helps to have some guys behind you that can pick it a little bit. The Tigers have made 2 really good plays in this inning.
No question. Iglesias with a gem, and then J.D. Martinez running that ball down. That wasn't an easy play either.
Here's the 1-2. On the ground to second. Kinsler will backhand it. Polanco is out. Ho home, another 1-2-3 inning for Shane Green. summary looks like this. We want to highlight what the starting pitchers have done in this game because, quite honestly, Jack, well, that's the story.
I think the biggest storyline right there is that BB column. No walks for either starting pitcher. And you look at the pitch count, the reason AJ's got a few more pitches than Shane Green is because he's got 5 more strikeouts. But both guys really on top of their game here tonight.
Burnett back to the hill here in the 7th, and he will face Castellanos, Sevilla, and Iglesias. Castellanos a single and a strikeout. Pitcher spot due 4th here in the 7th inning. And Nick looks at a strike. Inside part of the plate, 0-1.
I don't think it's any coincidence either that you're seeing some good defense by both ball clubs tonight because the pitchers are so sharp. The pace of the game is quickened.
It's what they say, and I've always asked pitchers about that, and they agree that, you know, you tend to get better defense behind you if you work at a nice pace, and that just keeps guys in the game.
Yeah, you just watch the fielder, especially outfielders. Those guys tend to kind of stare into the stands once in a while and walk around, and they're all on their toes. They're ready to make a play.
Pulled to third, and what a play there by Harrison.
Wow.
Well, case in point, I guess. Both teams starting to pick it now.
Josh Harrison going back a little bit and has to rely on his hands. Stays on it, though. He keeps his eye on the ball. All the way into the glove, then makes a strong throw. So we're just talking about defense. Now he's going to run over and assume that kind of middle infielder's spot on the shift that they're going to put on Alex Avila.
They leave Mercer to the left side of the infield. Harrison moving over. Avila is 0 for 2, couple of ground balls to the right side both times. There's the shift.
And they've changed their shift a little bit from yesterday on Alex.
Yeah.
Mercer was playing pretty much deep in his normal shortstop position. Now they've got him kind of in the hole there at third base and shortstop. But he's the only one on the left side of the infield.
So it appears these defensive shifts can be fluid and adjusted by game. And that's fouled back out of play, which I guess brings us back to the conversation we had yesterday about, you know, with the continuation of these shifts, if teams would start to make some adjustments. And now Mercer has moved a little bit closer towards second base and deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that's just with one strike. You'd understand it more with 2 strikes, because then a hitter is probably less willing to try to go that way. But Alex could take a pop at it down the left field line. I got to really believe that as time goes by, during batting practice, hitters will take their last couple swings trying to shoot the ball the other way. I'm talking about the dead pull hitters, to show that, because think about it, they need that part of the field to open up in order to get their hits.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's all bunched up right now, and the only way to soften it up is to start going the other way a little bit. It's Iglesias waiting on deck.
I think the good hitters are going to be able to adjust either way. If they get their pitch where they can still lift it and pull it, they're going to do that.
Well, look at that. Avila gets another walk. Leads the team in that category. Fans, don't forget, it's April in the D on Fox Sports Detroit. Be one of the first 10,000 fans to the Tigers-White Sox game on Friday, April 17th, and receive one of these, a Detroit April in the D fleece line knit Tigers hat being shown off there by Java Chamberlain. For more information, visit foxsportsdetroit.com. Here's Java hanging out on the right side. If the Tigers needed yesterday, he was going to close out that game because Soria had pitched in 3 straight games, but they ended up not needing anybody to close, obviously. Iglesias 1 for 2, a single in the 5th inning. And then later stole a base. Fouled straight back. It was the first walk by either starting pitcher in this game. That's how good both have been.
Pitch count creeping up there. It'll be interesting to see if Clint Hurdle, and there is some activity stirring out there in the bullpen for the Pirates, to see how far he's going to go with A.J. Burnett.
Cervelli blocks it.
I'm sure you'd love to see him get through this half inning at least.
There's Clint Hurdle, who's brought his team to the postseason each of the last 2 years after a 20-year drought. Now the 1-2. Off the plate, 2-2. Well, Shane Green's waiting on deck.
No pinch hitter for Shane Green, so Brad Osmus showing a lot of confidence in what his right hand is doing tonight.
Down the right field line and foul. Green at 62 pitches. I mean, it's been amazing. Meanwhile, Burnett has just reached 100. And really, his pitch count hasn't been in all that bad a shape. He had just the 1 inning over 20.
Yeah, the 4th inning is kind of a sore mark there. You're pretty happy if you can keep it under 15 per inning.
Missed it again. Now he's gone full on Iglesias. Archimedes Caminero is warming up in the bullpen for the Pirates. Way outside, walked him, and now the Tigers have back-to-back walks here in the 7th. Well, here is the upcoming pitching matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet. These two teams will wrap up this interleague series tomorrow. It's going to be Alfredo Simon and lefty Francisco Liriano.
Excited to see that game. I have yet to see Simon pitch, and I'm very familiar with Francisco Liriano from his days in Minnesota.
6:30 tomorrow with Tigers Live. A little bit of a meeting on the mound now as Green stands in with runners at first and second and 1 out.
Well, no question this is a bunting situation, but there are times where a manager will give a hitter that square around and then swing. So have to wait and see.
In tight at the corners defensively. And he lets it go by for ball 1.
The one thing that is against the Tigers right now is Alex Avila at second base. Not a great base runner. Doesn't have a lot of speed. He's a smart base runner, but not exactly going to burn up those base paths.
1 ball, 1 strike on Shane.
I don't think he's come close to bunting a ball yet, has he?
He hasn't. I mean, he's given it the old college try, but he has not come close to even making contact. And again, he jabs at the baseball and takes strike 2. Rajai Davis on deck. Here's the 1-2. He wanted that one foul, but it's going to be strike 3. Another strikeout. That's how it goes in the books for Burnett. That'll be his 8th. It's going to take a base hit from Rajai Davis.
Now there's the difference in American and National League Baseball. You've got a young pitcher that struggled to try to even get a bunt down. He struck out 3 times, and it could have been Victor Martinez up there as the designated hitter instead of the pitcher hitting for himself. Very big difference in the game.
Yeah, and there was no way Brad, I think, was going to take Green out of the game there for a pinch hitter the way he has pitched.
No, I don't mean it that way. I'm just saying
the difference in the American League,
who that hitter is.
Here's ball one to Rajai Davis. Here is one of the disadvantages for American League teams. A guy like Victor Martinez finished second in the MVP voting last year. Sitting on the bench.
Mario, did you buy into the discussion that they should play American League rules in National League teams?
Yes.
I do too.
I buy into that.
I think it would be something different for the fans. Where what we're talking about is putting the designated hitter in the game in the National League cities, and then when the National League teams come to the American League, the hitter would hit for himself, or the pitcher would hit for himself.
And there's also been some talk, which as Burnett misses again to go 3-0, just putting the DH in, in interleague games, period, regardless of where they're played. It's a part of the American League game that certainly causes a little bit of a mismatch when you come to National League parks. Meanwhile, Davis waits on a 3-0. And that's in there, 3-1. I don't think we're ever going to see the DH go away, though.
No.
With that?
I don't think Players Association would want it. It creates a job for a guy like Victor. Probably not going to play a lot of positions for a lot longer, but he can still hit.
Rajai shoots it back up the middle into center field, base hit. Avila rounding third. He will come around and score, and Davis has given the Tigers their first run. Rajai with a clutch 2-out knock, and it's 1-0 Detroit.
Neil Walker did everything he could to try to knock that ball down, and had he been able to, that would have probably kept Alex Avila at third base, but it squirts under his glove, and a big hit for Rajai Davis getting that first run. Now Clint Hurdle's going to make a pitching move, and it's a tough way to leave the game if you're A.J. Burnett. He pitched a fine ball game.
Well, he got himself in trouble with the base on balls. Walks to Avila and Iglesias toward the bottom of the Tigers lineup, and they make him pay. That's going to be it for A.J. Burnett. It's a wall-side windows pitching change. We'll be back.
To do too much here. He gets fastball down the middle, and what does he do with it? He shoots it right back up the middle, and that's just good hitting. He wasn't trying to pull that ball. He wasn't trying to do too much. Just hit it right back up the middle. Gets by Neil Walker there, and really kind of the unsung hero part of this is Jose Iglesias' smart base running. The ball got away from Francisco Cervelli there, but Iglesias ends up on third base. So runners on the corners for the Tigers here. with the new pitcher Caminero on the mound.
First and third. Tigers get the first run. Here are the particulars on Archimedes Caminero. Led the team in strikeouts during spring camp. And Caminero, a native of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. There's Kinsler. It'd be nice to get another run or two here. Tigers up by 1. We're in the 7th. Ian is 0 for 3. Fly out, strikeout, line out. Caminero is 27 years of age. He's with the Marlins each of the last 2 years. He's been a pro since '05. And he broke into the minor leagues. Check swing roller back to the mound. And the Tigers will have to settle for 1 run. But it's a big run. 2-out RBI single for Rajai Davis. Rajai Davis out in center field has just driven in the only run of the game. And on the flip side, how about Shane Green tonight?
Well, he's just been phenomenal. 16 innings of scoreless ball to start his 2015 season. But this will be his biggest test yet. He's got the meat of the order coming up for the Pirates, and see how he protects that 1-run lead now.
McCutchen, Walker, Hart, 3-4-5 for the Pirates, and McCutchen fouls it back out of play.
Started him off with the same pitch he did his last at bat, a breaking ball. And McCutchen, he's a smart hitter. He's going to recognize those kind of things.
Really has not had a good start to the year in terms of batting average, but McCutchen has a couple of homers, 7 RBIs. Dangerous hitter. Green busts him inside with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. A.J. Burnett still hanging out in the dugout. Pitched extremely well before being taken out of this game. The RBI single by Davis scored a walk earlier in the inning.
Well, he pitched a great game, 8 strikeouts, but those walks, how many times do we talk about they come back to haunt you?
Every time.
Yeah. The first walk of the game, Alex Avila ends up scoring the 1 run in this game.
Bouncing ball to short. Iglesias, couple of steps to his left. And the dangerous McCutchen kept off the bases. 1 out.
It looked like Shane Green had a little extra there. I don't know what the radar gun said, but he kind of reared back, and it's more of your arm speed sometime. But McCutchen, we talk about his quick bat and quick hands, and yet it looked like he got in on him a little bit.
That last fastball was at 93 from Green. Here's Walker. Fly out, ground out. Fly ball in the air to center field. Davis on his horse. Rajay still going back. Has room. Right in front of the wall.
He had to go a long way, but Rajay doing a great job. Great route. He knew where that ball was going to be.
Hey, by the way, you can follow the Tigers all season in 2015 with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, radio broadcasts, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or your tablets. Here's Corey Hart. Green trying to navigate his way through the 7th here against 3 guys that can leave the ballpark. Of course, Corey Hart did it yesterday in the pinch hitting role. It sails outside 2-0.
His pitch count is in great shape, averaging about 10 pitches an inning, which is wonderful. Trying to get his third 1-2-3 inning.
Swing and a miss.
Excuse me, his 4th. There was a 6-4-3 double play in the 5th inning.
He's barely broken a sweat this season.
It's cool out.
True. But I was talking about his pitch count. There's the strike call. Speaking of which, you love pitching in this kind of weather, didn't you? No wind?
No wind tonight, and you know it's a cool night. It's a great night to pitch because as a pitcher, you're the one guy moving around more than anybody else. You still feel strong because of the cool air, and you're not drying out because of a heavy wind.
In the air toward left. Cespedes calling for it. Oh my God, Rajay went flying behind him. 1, 2, 3 innings, 7 in the books. Coming up for the Tigers, the big boys, Cabrera, Martinez, and Cespedes.
It's so important. Typically the center fielder has command of this, but Cespedes indicates early, I've got it, and he's right there camped underneath it. But Rajay coming all the way over, and when he's yelling right there, Rajay's 40 yards away. He can't hear it because he's looking at the ball, tracking that ball. So at least they got it out. They can laugh about it now.
Rajay went tumbling behind Cespedes, who had an incredulous look on his face. But the catch was made, and that's all that counts as Cabrera stands in. Martinez and then Cespedes to follow. Caminero goes back out there. Ground ball hit to third, and that is straight at Harrison. One pitch, one out. Caminero has gotten a couple of outs. Here's J.D. Martinez. Caminero doesn't mess around coming out of the pen, does he?
Oh, he's got a live fastball. You mentioned that he led the Pirates in strikeouts in spring training. And that fastball to Miguel Cabrera clocked at 99. This one 98. So he's got a live arm.
Single, ground out, strikeout for J.D. Martinez. Another bouncing ball to third. This one a routine play for Harrison. 2 up, 2 down. So not only is Caminero getting outs, he's getting them quickly. Here's Yoenis Cespedes. Two-base hit for Cespedes off the right field wall back in the fourth.
Let's see if the Pirates start Cespedes off with another breaking ball. A.J. Burnett did that, I think, in all 3 of his plate appearances.
Wow. That one drilled Cervelli. Let's see where it got him. Oh, direct hit in the mask. That'll snap your neck back a little bit. Actually, a lot.
Yeah, and there's nothing baseball can do. Just hope for the best. I mean, that's where concussions happen so frequently. And at 98, 99 miles an hour, you saw how his neck snapped. And that foul tip.
The 0-1. You got to believe that. I mean, it's going to take a little bit to shake the cobwebs off after taking a direct shot like that, and you really don't have much time if you're a catcher, whether you're Cervelli or anyone else, to kind of get back, you get your mind back into the game. Here's the 0-2. I was talking to Ray Fosse, the great catcher who now does television and radio for the A's, and he said so many times guys would look down at him after taking foul tips and say, man, your eyes look like slot machines, you know. you're out of it, but you just continued to play. Vila's gone through those concussions. That'll bounce in. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Cespedes. Castellanos on deck. Caminero, for as live as his arm is, really hadn't had a whole lot of big league time. He's appeared in 19 games, or had appeared in 19 games coming into this season. At the big league level, that's it.
A lot of times you get a young pitcher in the minor leagues and you see that radar gun, and he's touching 100 miles an hour and he starts throwing strikes. There's no sense wasting those bullets in the minor leagues. You want him up here and figure out a role for him. The key is to throw strikes, and he's done a good job of that in tonight's game. There's the speeds, and just this at bat goes from 98 to 100 to 101.
Whoa.
Then he throws a breaking ball at 91, comes back with a heater at 100. I don't know what radar guns mean, but it means something after 95. I know that. It's so much harder for a hitter to speed that bat up.
Crowd wanted it. 3-2. Clint Hurdle wanted it.
Clint asking the umpire if it was high, and he says no, it's not high. And Foxcroft says it's a strike, and it doesn't matter. David Rackley, the home plate umpire, says no, it's a ball. I just called it a ball.
Oh, he's just throwing him out. Clint Hurdle, I assume, has just been given the heat ho, and now Clint's going to slowly walk out to Mr. Rackley and get a little bit more for his money here now that he's been tossed. Well, it doesn't appear to be heated.
Not yet.
Not yet is right. Now Jerry Lane cruising over. He is the crew chief, Jerry Lane is. Rackley simply walking away. And now so will Clint Hurdle, as he will go back to the comfy confines of his office here at PNC Park.
Simple case where you really can't blame the manager. He's sticking up for his pitcher. He thought it was a strike, and it might have been a touch high. It's up in that other upper edge of the strike zone. But it's probably a frustrating night. Frustrating night for Clint Hurdle. His team hasn't scored a run.
3-2 the count on Yoenis Cespedes. And there's ball 4. 2-out walk. We had not had a walk through 6 innings in this game. Then Burnett walked 2 in the 7th, and now Caminero has walked 1 here in the 8th. So here is Castellanos to take his swings against the flamethrower. Nick is 1 for 3. Pulled on the ground to third. Harrison will handle another. And that is that for Detroit. No runs, a walk, 1 left. Tigers lead by a run. Pirates batting in the bottom of the 8th. Brings you the high strength steal of the game, and it was Jose Iglesias that stole one.
Well, it's a heck of a play right here. A.J. Burnett trying to get himself on base, and What a fine play that was. He didn't jump or anything. He just kept running and showing off that strong arm. Miguel Cabrera stretching on the other end of it. Great play.
Great play indeed. We're used to seeing that, though, from Mr. Iglesias. Shane Green heads back to the mound. Andrew Romine is playing third base, but right now he's out in right field because of the shift.
Yeah, there we go. There's your new third baseman out in right field.
Alvarez leading it off in a 1-0 game. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Pulled on the ground is second. Kinsler down to a knee. Now Romine can run over to third. Green gets another ground ball out. And that brings up Cervelli.
Well, we haven't heard his walk-up music until right now. We've got a little Dean Martin.
Nothing says baseball better than the lyrics of "When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie." That just scream baseball, Jack?
I like it.
It is. I mean, it's different. It's obviously part of his heritage. It's kind of different. It's kind of cool. And Cervelli looks at a strike with a breaking ball. Cervelli 1 for 2. Lifted foul back out of play.
Shane Green just keeps pounding that strike zone, getting ahead of hitters. This is a beautiful performance, Shane Green. It's just fun to watch a guy that's young and getting more and more confident and able to sustain what he has done so far this season.
How do you have a pitch count of 76 with 1 out in the 8th?
That's what the whole pitch count was designed to do. To have pitchers more efficient. I truly believe that. I don't think it was ever anything more than trying to get kids, younger players, especially at the minor league level, to understand, get ahead, and throw strikes early in the count.
1-2 on Cervelli. So Green will step off now. Here's the high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity, and Shane Green has been as high as 94 in this game.
Yeah, but it's quite a split between that and his best changeup. 20-mile-an-hour difference almost.
Ball outside. 2-2 the count. I love when the old-time pitchers talk about pitch counts with disdain. Yeah, when I was a pitcher, we used to throw 500 pitches in a game. Go to the shower and throw some hot water over the shoulder.
Well, I lived in that generation, and the bottom line is we wouldn't have completed near as many games if we lived in this generation.
No doubt. Meanwhile, Cervelli will take a seat.
Only the third strikeout, but Shane Green just spot on, kind of freezing. He caught Cervelli in between. He's looking for that breaking ball, and he gets the express.
Here it is by inning. He's had 3 innings coming into this one where he has thrown less than 10 pitches.
Yeah, we talk about, and all the scouts will talk about a pitcher that has 15 pitch innings or less as being excellent. He hasn't had one over 14.
Man. Chamberlain is the right-hander. Gorzelani is the left-hander. Slice. Oh, and a diving play by Kinsler. Defense has been on display tonight for the Tigers. They have really backed up Shane Green. That was an outstanding play.
Another rep gem.
1, 2, 3 they go. How about we check out our big boy, big play of the game? Boy, the Tigers been turning in some great defensive plays tonight.
You get good pitching and a guy that's had great tempo, and then you get plays like that from Ian Kinsler. Another Webb gem, just stretching out, going to his left, and robbing a hit from Jordy Mercer right there.
So the lead remains 1 for the Tigers. And here they come now with Avila batting in the 9th inning. Avila and then Iglesias. And in the pitcher spot, swing and a miss by Alex. And Shane Green put his batting helmet on. Right now scheduled to hit 3rd in this inning.
No, I for one would love to see him go out there. He's got great pitch count. I mean, if you're going to use that pitch count as an excuse to kind of a thermometer of what you want from your pitcher, he's only at 81. So he's got a legitimate chance of finishing this game if Brad wants him to.
Well, let me ask you this. What if the Tigers get runners at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out in this inning?
Well, that's it. You know, and Sparky Anderson always had a rule that he would never let a pitcher go deep into a game where he has pitched a really fine game and let him pitch to the go-ahead run. The tying run, sometimes he would let him go that far.
Yeah.
So in this case, he would let Shane Green at least give up a base hit or a base runner.
Avila takes that one. You saw Soria warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Green has his helmet on. And Jonesy perhaps talking to him as to what he could expect.
You know, this is a tough position for a manager in today's game.
Really tough.
Yeah, you don't know what to do. You want to trust your guy, and you've got a young kid that, man, you take him out now, he's got 2 just gems of a game to start the season. And yet, how much better it would be for a complete game shutout.
Right.
And the confidence that would bring.
Avila walking a run scored.
I just wonder if he's thinking about striking out for the 4th time.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that. He does have 3, doesn't he?
Maybe that's the concerned look on his face.
Most pitchers don't stick around long enough to get 4 at bats. I don't think he really cares about a strikeout.
Oh boy.
Here's the 2-2. 3-2 on Avila.
I was listening to one of the games on MLB, and the announcers were talking about Brett Lawrie's game when, as the newest member of the Oakland A's, already this year. He struck out 4 times on 12 pitches. And the announcer,
I remember that, yeah.
And they were talking about that's a bad day. And the announcer that did it was talking about it was saying, I've been there. Let's leave him alone.
That's pulled into short right field. And he's thrown out by Walker. 1 gone. So Green now will move to the on-deck circle. Jose Iglesias will stand in. Single walk steal for Iglesias and a great defensive play as well. Shattered bat, and there's a base hit.
Wow.
Snapped his bat right in half. He's going to try for 2, and the throw is high. McCutchen did not get to that ball very quickly, and Iglesias read it nicely.
Well, even some of the best in the game can get caught sleeping, and that's exactly what happened here. McCutchen just kind of jogged after that ball. He didn't break hard, and Iglesias recognizes that, and he just pours on the coals and gets into second base for a double. You see him watching him right there, and then all of a sudden he looks up and he says, I got a chance.
Boy, he turned in for the high gear at that point. Well, now with a man in scoring position, Victor Martinez is going to come off the bench, and Shane Green will be out of the game. So that has changed the complexion here. Soria is warming up, and he would come in to close this game down. But here is Victor Martinez.
So a double basically changes the whole game for Brad Ausmus, right. And you can't blame him either. because now he's got a chance to put one of his best hitters up and get that second insurance run. But what a job by Shane Green tonight.
You saw Jeff Jones speaking with him earlier in the inning, probably explaining the situation. Look, if we get a guy in scoring position, you're probably coming out of the game. And the Tigers have done just that. Now Victor Martinez a chance to extend the Tiger lead. I will say this, there hasn't been a whole lot of scoring in this game, but this has been one entertaining contest here tonight.
There are people that we talked about it last night. It was a well-pitched game, yesterday's game. That you know, they want to see the 12-10 slugfest, but you can't. If you're a real fan of the game and you like pitching, this is as good as it gets.
Yeah, games like this tend to be a lot cleaner, and it certainly has been tonight with some of the great defensive plays. So here is Victor Martinez pinch hitting for Shane Green. And Victor looks at ball one. 98 that time from Caminero. Victor pinch hit in the ball game last night, made the final out, struck out to end the game yesterday. The man of the night, Shane Green, tonight with his outstanding effort, his second consecutive really good start. Victor looks at a strike.
Go back to John Keating's little story about the tweet. Mama believes.
Mama's real happy right now.
A lot of Tiger fans are too.
True. Mama's got some company tonight. Tigers have to finish the job though, and they could make that job a little bit easier by getting another run here with Iglesias at second. A hustle double for Jose. Caminero has slowed things down considerably here. Doesn't want to make a mistake to Victor Martinez, who had an MVP type season last year. Here's the 1-1. 2-1 on Martinez.
If you're Caminero, you've got a base open. You know, Victor, everybody in baseball knows and respects what this man can do at the plate. It's just kind of a rock between a hard place and that. You don't want to put on another run. You know, every run is precious, so you don't want a base runner. But she's being careful with Victor.
Swing and a miss. And I guess the manager at times has to have enough confidence in a pitcher to know that he, has to be smart in certain situations with first base open, and to be very careful with that hitter. But you're right. I mean, you start putting another man on base, and in a 1-0 game, that could be a huge difference. It's 2-2 on Victor Martinez. Of course, the Pirates manager right now is in his office
watching.
Clint Hurdle's been tossed out of the game. It's amazing what a matchup like this can do.
Well,
the cat and mouse game going on.
Iglesias is kind of disrupting Caminero at second base, and he steps off. Victor always taking his sweet time at the plate.
Fouled away.
He fouls off so many pitches too that's what extends his at bats.
Of course, the new pace of play rules state that you have to keep 1 foot in the box unless you foul a ball off, and Victor does that quite a bit, so he will take the opportunity to step out and reset himself. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. High cheese, and he threw it by. What was that pitch?
I think it was a fastball.
Was it? Yep. It had some movement. It was 90 miles an hour.
I guess that's a changeup when you can touch 100. That's a changeup.
So that's the second out of the inning, and now it looks like we'll get a change here. So Caminero came out of the bullpen and did a nice job. We'll get a double switch now. And it appears the Pirates will go to the bullpen here. Lambo coming on to take over for the right fielder Corey Hart. So we'll sort it out when we come back. Right now the Tigers on top in the ninth, 1-0. It's courtesy of that guy right there, Rajai Davis.
Very similar situation that he's in right now. And he shoots the ball right up the middle and drives in the only run of the game for the Tigers at this point, Alex Avila.
A clutch 2-out knock. That walk to Avila set up that run earlier in the seventh inning. Otherwise, A.J. Burnett was really good as well. They have gone back to the bullpen, have the Pirates, and that would be Rob Scahill.
If you like the National League style of play, you understand it because of what happened right here. They go to the bullpen and bring in Scahill, but Scahill will hit in Corey Hart's, he will hit in Corey Hart's fifth position in the batting order. And they brought in Andrew Lambo to play right field, and he will lead off the bottom of the ninth inning.
So Scahill finishing up his warm-up pitches. There is Andrew Lambo in right. And we'll see if Rajai Davis has another clutch 2-out hit in him tonight. Boy, that extra run would be so nice. Fourth season is Scahill facing Rajai Davis here, and Rajai checked it, strike one. 2 out of 4 tonight for Davis. Got the start against the right-hander A.J. Burnett, and he has provided some assistance to Shane Green. Davis also picked up his first RBI of the year with that run-scoring single in the 7th. Scahill is out of the Rockies system. And now Cervelli goes out to the mound. 2 balls, 1 strike. Scahill parts of each of the last 3 years in the big leagues with Colorado.
Parts of 4 seasons, only 60 innings pitched. Oh, Mickey Lolich had that in a month, didn't he?
Yes. Yes, he did.
Cy Young for sure.
Fouled away. Rajay had a nice rip there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It'll be Lambo, Harrison, Polanco when we get to the bottom of the 9th. There's Kinsler waiting on deck, hoping to have an opportunity. Tigers will have Joakim Soria pitch the bottom of the 9th inning. He's been warming up. Here's the 2-2. Just off the plate. 3-2 on Rajay Davis. Soria, the interim closer, with Joe Nathan on the disabled list.
Now this is the situation that Rajay's got to be disciplined. He can take that 3-2 pitch, but can he lay off a ball when it is 3-2? You could see he was cheating a little bit there, trying to get that bat going on a ball that was up and in.
Fouled off another one on a check swing. Count remains full on Rajay Davis.
Tough pitch for Rajay to do anything with. You can almost see that he's trying to go up the middle or to the right side. That ball down and in, and he just lowered his hands and was able to foul it off. But a good sinking fastball from Scahill there almost locked him up.
It was the 8th pitch in the at-bat, and it's fouled off. Scahill with a mid-90s fastball there. They acquired him in a deal in November. It's a big hole to the right side of the infield for Rajay if he goes the other way. Fouled off.
There was the pitch to do it with, too.
Yeah.
You can almost sense that Rajay's trying to hit it to the right side. And he gets a breaking ball right there that stays up, and he just misses it.
And he lost him, ball 4. Going to put 2 men on, bring up Kinsler. Hey, by the way, it's April in the D on Fox Sports Detroit. Join us again tomorrow on Fox Sports Detroit Plus when the Tigers wrap up their series with the Pirates. Our coverage begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live. Tigers Pirates tomorrow at 6:30 on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Make that notation down on your schedules when you tune in tomorrow night. Now, here is Kinsler. This would be a perfect spot for Ian to get his first hit of the night.
He's contributed with his glove. He'd love to help out with his bat right here and get some insurance.
He too will bat with a hole to the right side of the infield. The second baseman Walker shading the other way. And Cervelli's gone out there a couple of times.
Cervelli going out to remind Scahill that was too good a pitch right there. You're going to miss off the plate. At least off the heart of the plate. That ball was right down the middle, but he was taking it.
Iglesias, Davis, both can run on the base pass. 1-1. I do know this. Scahill does not want to deal with the guy on deck. He's pretty good.
Let's just hope he doesn't want to deal with him.
The 1-1 pitch. Bouncing ball left side. It'll find a hole. Base hit. Iglesias rounding third. They're going to send him home. The throw not in time. Kinsler with a 2-out RBI single.
Clutch hitting again for the Tigers right there. Ian Kinsler finds a hole on the left side. Good speed on the bases with Iglesias, and Dave Clark just waving him on in. Too good a pitch right there. Ball right over the middle.
Kinsler gets his 8th RBI of the season as Iglesias comes barreling around third and scores, and now here is Cabrera. Might as well bust this one open. Strike one. Tigers have 9 hits now. Meanwhile, Soria is sitting out there in the bullpen going, all right, that's good. I got another run to work with here. Drilled foul, back out of play. So it's 0-2 now on Miguel. That'll close the book on Caminero, who was charged with that run. Shane Green goes 8 scoreless before being pulled for the pinch hitter here in the 9th. Toward right field, slicing. Into the seats it goes. Cabrera had a single in the 6th inning. He is 1 for 4. He has hit safely now in his last 5 consecutive games. And the Pirates bullpen now has thrown 30. Well, they're about to throw their 30th pitch in this inning. Kinsler has come up with a big 2-out knock. One and two.
This is where the big man earns his money. It's hard to even fathom that he's had kind of an off night. He's still 1 for 4. Could be 2 for 5.
Well, when you pile up 11 hits in a single 3-game series, this, I guess, would be considered an off night for Cabrera. But if he finds a gap here, he could drive in 2 more runs. Shane Green, the star of the night tonight, as far as the pitching is concerned for the Tigers. Very economical all night long again. And Miguel fouls off another. Cabrera, the reigning player of the week in the American League, as you might expect with that big series he had against the Indians. And he got him, strike 3. Scahill finally takes care of Cabrera. However, the Tigers get a big 2-out run, an insurance run. Go to the bottom of the 9th. The bottom of the ninth inning, and just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Shane Green, what a job tonight.
No question about it. He had it all working again. He's pitched 16 innings now for the Tigers, yet to have an earned run scored against him. And you see how he's just missing bats, locking up hitters. Just a good breaking ball, a good fastball. Great performance tonight by that young right-hander.
8 innings, 3 hits, no base on balls.
No walks, 81 total pitches in 8 innings. That's just a tad over 10 an inning. I can't say enough about it. It was a great performance.
Well, that pretty much sums it up. Here is Joakim Soria trying to close this one down now. The Pirates down by 2. And the first one is in there for a strike. Lambeau came on as a double switch defensive replacement last half inning, batting .312 last year in the minors. Facing Soria, the veteran reliever, now closer for the Tigers, and the count is 0-2.
Soria doing what great closers do, and that's coming in throwing strikes. Ahead in the count here, he's got a chance to waste a pitch if he needs to.
Lambeau just one of 2 rookie players on this Pirates roster. And he sends a ground ball back to the mound. Soria handles it, 1 gone. Shane Green likes that. Let me bring up Josh Harrison. Harrison 1 for 3 tonight. Singled back in the 3rd. Was robbed on a ball that he hit slicing down the right field line. His last at bat. J.D. Martinez ran it down. Ball 1 from Soria.
It's kind of funny how things can work out. Shane Green ended up sitting quite a while in that bottom of the or top of the 9th inning for the Tigers.
One ball, 1 strike. Harrison didn't like it. Now Soria with the 1-1. Bouncer right back to the mound again. 2 gone. 1 more out to get, and the Tigers will have earned their 7th victory of the season. Tigers started the year at 6-0, their 2nd best start ever, only to the '84 team that started 9-0. Polanco was the only man standing in their way of their 7th win. And Polanco in this game is 0 for 3. A couple of ground balls and a line out. Strike 1. Tigers pitching tonight has allowed just 3 hits to the Pirates. And they were all singles. One of them was an infield hit.
Nobody even reaching second base, so it's just been nothing but pitching for Detroit. And the key is throwing strikes, getting ahead in the count. Soria kind of following Shane Green's footsteps.
2-1. High fly ball right field. Should do it. Martinez is there, and the Tigers, behind a masterful performance tonight from Shane Green, shut out the Pirates 2-0. What an effort tonight for Green. The Tigers got some timely hits late and take game 2 in this series here against Pittsburgh. We'll be back to talk more about this one here tonight. The Tigers' 7th win of the season, 2-0.